So with that being said, we're going to get to it right now.
Y'all know what time it is. It's time for Off the Top on Truth to Power. Kyle, let Truth Nation know what you got to get off your chest today.
Yes, you heard the big voice, guys. Time for Off the Top right here. This is when I get the top stories off my mind to kick off the day. And so we're going to start with some things that have been on my mind that I've been thinking about. Yesterday, big day. A lot of things happened. We do have a new president. President Donald Trump is now the president. And some different things happened yesterday with all the parades and the hoopla that was going on. And as I get into it, make sure you watch and stream us live on YouTube. Yes, 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Go ahead to that. And then make sure you click like on the video and make sure you also subscribe to our page. But getting back into it, there were a couple things that I saw. And I'm going to tell you this right now. If I wanted to, I could talk about Donald Trump and everything that's going to go on with his administration for legitimately the next 1,600 days that he's president. But I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to do it because it is what it is. The election is over. Now we just need to move forward as a country. But when I see stuff, I'm going to call it out. And the first thing I got to say, I'm not mad about what's happening with the immigration stuff. I ain't going to lie to you. I'm not mad about it. I feel like there's other things that I could be more concerned about. So when I look at what's happening with immigration, I'm going to give people credit and props where it's needed. I think we need to have some type of sensible rules and laws on the border. And I feel like the Democrats did themselves a disjustice and injustice by not being more strict on the border. I mean, I know there was politics that was being played when they actually had a border bill that could have been passed that was bipartisan, but you know what? It wasn't passed, and Trump showed on day one that you can close the border and clean some things up, and I do think that there needs to be a better way to get people into this country where you just can't come into the country. I wish the best to all the families that may be torn apart, but that's the way American people voted. They voted basically to tear families apart, so it is what it is. So we just have to keep moving on. So I actually agree with Trump on that one. Now, to other things, the first thing I want to start with is on day one, there were 200 different things that Trump gave an executive order on. 200. And one of them was some nonsense, man. Listen, our country needs a leader. Our country needs somebody that's going to step in and actually fight for the people. And one of the things our country don't care about and don't need is we don't need to be renaming the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. So I saw that he changed the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. So on all federal documents and all federal paperwork and on, I believe, federal maps as well, when you see what used to be called the Gulf of Mexico, it's now going to be called the Gulf of America. Now, I think this is a waste of time. Who cares? Like, for real, who cares? Like, we got more important things to focus on, such as lowering the prices, right? Making sure we got more energy here, more energy independent here in America. But instead, we doing a swiping pen about Gulf of America. I think that's stupid. The other thing is to change it to the name of Mount Denali out there in Alaska to Mount McKinley, back to Mount McKinley. Again, things that we don't care about. If Alaska wants to call it, yes, if the Alaskan government, who, by the way, is a Republican-led state, if they want to call it Mount Denali, who the hell are you to tell them to call it Mount McKinley? Who cares? Let the people speak. It's not a dictatorship. It is for people to be able to have a choice to call things what they want. But I thought that was silly. I thought that was nonsense. But that was the first thing that I just had to get off my chest. The next one, y'all. Truth Nation, I don't know if y'all saw it. I know The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, which preceded me, he talked about pardons. There were 1,600 pardons that took place. 1,600 pardons of individuals who stormed the Capitol of the United States of America on January 6th last year. 1,600 people got pardons. Now, again, I'm not a hater. I'm not a hater at all. But I just, as an American, I don't want to see anybody that trespasses, anybody that commits treasonous acts, get pardoned for their bad behavior. What message does that send? It sends an awful message. Now, I understand. Maybe some people spent too much time, or maybe he just granted some people clemency. But the one thing I don't like is some of the people that got pardoned. One of them is a guy named Stuart Rhodes. Stuart is the former leader of the Oath Keepers militia. He received an 18-year sentence for his role in the riots. Now, Stuart Rhodes was in a federal prison, and he was convicted of a crime, right? In America, you get charged with a crime, you have your day in court. If you lose, you have to do the time if you do the crime. He did the crime, so he got to do the time. Somehow, he got freed. 18 years down to only having to do like a year or two? Man, oh man. And then what makes it even worse, we all heard about that group of the Proud Boys. And somebody who was part of that, you know, the former leader of the Proud Boys, Enrique Tarrio, who was the former leader of the Proud Boys, we heard about them. Stand by and stand down, Proud Boys. Well, he stood by. January 6th, he stood up. And he was supposed to serve 22 years in jail. And guess what? They said on Thursday, that boy coming home too. I tell you, my goodness. I couldn't imagine if it was a group of us that went up there in the Capitol and did that and we got pardons. So 1,600 pardons just happened yesterday as well. I think it's absolute nonsense. I think it sends a terrible message. But again, it is what it is. Now, my last story. This one by far is the worst. And the reason why I say this one by far is the worst is because I feel like we're making excuses for people and making up reasons for people why we should ignore their behavior, right? And so yesterday, there was a video of Elon Musk, who is the CEO of Tesla, very innovative, the owner of Twitter as well, Twitter X, and he was part of the festivities yesterday, and there was a video of him doing a salute that reminded us of something we might have seen back in the late 1930s or early 1930s. Check it out on YouTube.
And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you.
So as you heard of...
And I just want to say thank you for making it happen.
And when he did...
Thank you.
He didn't do put his fist in the air. Because Zach, I'm going to tell you something. If I did this, if I hit my chest and I put my fist in the air like this, DJ Brothers, what am I talking about? What is this a sign of?
Black power.
Black power. That is a sign
And I just want to say thank you for making it happen.
DJ
Thank
Brother
you.
Z, if, you know, I see you from across the hall and I move my hand like this left and right, open palm, that's usually a what? What do people say?
Thank you.
Hi, that's a wave, right? There's universal signs and gestures that we all
And I just want to say
understand.
thank
There's
you
universal things we do.
for making
the
it
first
happen.
one, fist in the air,
Thank
black
you.
power. I wave my hand, that's a hello. Now, Zach, if you said, hey, we're going to go to break and I give you this one with the thumbs up. If I give you a thumbs up, what does that mean?
Sounds good.
Sounds...
Or in China. Maybe,
I don't know what it means in China.
it's
Now,
the middle finger.
Oh, no, that's not good. Speaking of the middle finger, if I'm driving a car and somebody cuts me off, Zach, if somebody cuts you off, DJ Brother Z, and they gave you the middle finger, does that mean I love you?
Nah.
Okay, so we all know there's universal gestures that usually mean something. Now, Mr. Elon Musk, I know you're not from America, right? I understand that you are from South Africa. And you may not know how we do things around here. But Mr. Musk, here in America, we don't play around with stuff like that. Because when you put your hand to your chest and then you put your arm out in an angle and your four fingers point a direction, we think you're hailing Hitler. I don't know if it has something to do with the Romans. I don't know if you were just trying to throw your heart at the crowd. But what I do know is it was sketchy. And it was questionable. And I know he ain't really having an answer to it. And people are trying to make excuses for him. But Mr. Musk, here in America, when we want to salute to people, we put our four fingers on the top of our head and then we salute to those. We don't do that Hail Hitler mess here. This ain't Germany. This ain't that. Now, some of y'all might be saying, Kyle, you're being extreme. You sound like a leftist, a liberal. No, I ain't. No, listen, I'll tell you this. I get offended when somebody call me a liberal because I am a staunch moderate. I just told y'all before, I'm glad that we doing something at the border. I think that's common sense. I'm a common sense individual. I don't do nonsense. But I'm going to tell y'all this. Y'all can fall for the Elon Musk bull crap, but I'm not, because I did a little bit of digging, just a little bit of digging. I said, man, that sure did look like the Hail Hitler, but he wouldn't be stupid enough to do that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, through the Kyle Wallace Truth to Power DJ Brother Z Research Institute, I was able to find a video of Elon Musk's father talking about the Musk family and Elon Musk's attachment to Nazi Germany.
Her parents came to South Africa from Canada because they sympathized with the Afrikaner government. They used to
Racist
support
Afrikaner
Hitler and all that sort of stuff. But they didn't know, obviously, I don't think they knew what the Nazis were doing. But they in Canada, they were in the German party in Canada, and they sympathized with the Germans.
Yeah.
So when the Afrikaners government came into power here in 1948, then May's father, who was quite an interesting guy, he was a very good pilot, he said he wants to be with the Afrikaners because he agrees with apartheid, you see. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And he came out here with his family.
That was Elon Musk's father talking about Elon Musk's grandfather on his mother's side, how he agreed with the Afrikaners. If you don't know who the Afrikaners are, the Afrikaners was the white government that came into South Africa and terrorized the South Africans, the black South Africans at that. Terrorized, controlled. And he just said that his grandfather supported the apartheid, and they sympathized with the Nazi government. Now, I don't know about you. I know my grandpa. I met my grandpa before. I'm sure Elon met his grandpa. His mother was raised by his grandpa, and so his mother grew up in a house with sympathizers of the Nazi government in Germany. And then he said he agreed with apartheid, and y'all gonna sit here and try to defend this man doing the Hail Hitler sign and try to make up excuses. Stop playing with me. Stop it. What y'all need to do is y'all need to do your research. Now, could it have been something where he was really trying to throw his heart? Maybe. But he's more intelligent than that. He's smarter than that. He's pushing the boundaries to see what he can get away with. That is what Elon is doing. He is an intelligent individual. He understands he has a platform where he can have mind control. And you know what he said? He went on his little platform and he said, oh, here they go again. They want to call everybody Hitler. Bro, we don't do the dang third right Hitler sign. That's on you, buddy. So again, if it walk like a duck, quack like a duck, taste like a duck, then damn it, it's a duck. And I'm telling y'all this right now. Y'all better be afraid of what Elon Musk got going on. But that's the one, when I saw him do that Hail Hitler sign, they tried to say that wasn't it. I said, I don't know. And when I did my research, it looked like he got some connections to the fact that he grew up in a family that sympathized with the German government and a family that supported the white South Africans who terrorized the black South Africans who were the majority. Do your research on Afrikaners and do your research on Elon Musk. But those are the stories, the things that were most on my mind when I came today.